guys! Can you guess where I'm filming from today? This city is nicknamed Venice of the North. A really beautiful medieval town. This is a UNESCO World Heritage site. This is Bruges. We are in Belgium, in the north of Belgium, in the city of Bruges. Today, I'm going to share some of my personal insights to make your visit to this amazing medieval city perfect. And we're going to take you on a little stroll around town, sharing some beautiful historical insights into the history of this amazing city. So, grab everything with you and let's get started. And don't forget to subscribe.
For centuries, the canals of Bruges have linked the city to the sea, guaranteeing wealth and prosperity to its residents. Bruges canals have always been the veins of the city, winding through it, meandering in serpentine twists around it, showcasing breathtaking views around every bend. Seeking a romantic boat excursion through charming waterways, look no further than Bruges. Dubbed the Venice of the North, this nickname is well-earned as visitors delight in leisurely tours along the Rye, beholding UNESCO classified monuments, some dating back nearly a millennia, much akin to the allure of the waterways of its Italian counterpart. Located only 1 hour from Brussels, Bruges is an outstanding example of a medieval historic settlement which has maintained its historic fabric as it has evolved over the centuries. Exploring Bruges feels like stepping in a bygone era, with its well-preserved Gothic constructions forming part of the town's identity. It's important to note that in recognition of its cultural significance, Bruges was honored as a UNESCO World Heritage City in the year 2000. At the same time, with century-old candy shops and an abundance of chocolate boutiques, Bruges is a sensory delight and a feast for the eyes as much as it is for the palate. Prepare to be astonished by the array of delectable treasures it has to offer to foodies, secrets best kept hidden until experienced firsthand. Speaking of, let's take a little lunch break. Belgium's cuisine may not be as renowned globally as that of its European neighbors, but it certainly holds its own without any need for envy. Some of the most famous dishes in the area around Bruges are waterzooi, a fish soup, Flemish stew, and let's not forget mussels with Belgian fries. I want to take advantage of the proximity to the sea, so today I'm enjoying a copious portion of mussels with Belgian fries, which are only the best fries there is, by the way. Bruges' rich heritage is inherently linked to its connection to the sea after all, so I can't think of a better place to indulge in this local specialty. Bruges is a city that caters to every interest. So, when you decide to come, get ready for a taste of history through a town frozen in time. Bruges' history dates back to the Roman Empire. Its first Roman inhabitants lived out of fishing, breeding cattle, and extracting peat and salt. The Romans built a road on the sand ridge bordering the coastal plain as part of a wider road network. Present-day Bruges arose exactly at the place where this road met the River Rye. After the fall of the Roman Empire, the city came under the rule of the Frankish dynasty. In the 9th century, a very modest fortress was built here as part of a coastal defense against the Vikings by the Frankish rulers. If you stop to think about it, Bruges was accessible by sea, making it particularly vulnerable and thus an attractive target for potential attacks. The fortress did its job and protected its citizens, the clergy, and their valuable possessions from the Vikings. There are various opinions about where the city's name originates from. However, one theory is that the name Bruges may actually be a deviation of the Old Norse word for pier, or landing point, which would make its name originate back to the Vikings themselves. Towards the end of the 9th century, Baldwin I, son-in-law to the Count of Flanders, settled in Bruges with his bride Judith. Despite being a royal representative, Baldwin succeeded in acquiring political authority and also making his position hereditary. Over the centuries, his descendants continued to build the new Count's dynasty, with Bruges as the center of power and capital of the County of Flanders. Over time, the city continued to grow in the Middle Ages, eventually evolving to become an international and industrious port and trading city. At the end of the 13th century, Italian merchants opted for Bruges as the fixed base for their sea trade. Eventually, merchants from all over Europe followed their example and settled in the city. New buildings were built, which you can still visit today, such as the Belfry, St. John's Hospital, several churches, and the water walls. Interesting facts: the world's very first stock exchange was also established in Bruges at this time. The Golden Age of Bruges took place when Bruges became part of the Burgundian Empire in the 14th century. Bruges eventually became a famous European center of the production of all kinds of luxury goods as noblemen built opulent residences decorated by the best artists of the time, such as the famous painter Van Eyck. As you stroll around the city, you may notice the stair shape of the roof of old houses. The steps indicated how rich the person living in it was. The most number of steps a rooftop had, the richest its inhabitant was. The city began declining in the 16th century after the death of the Duchess Mary of Burgundy. Her widower, being Austrian, left the city, taking alongside him the court, merchants, and noblemen. Bruges fell into the hands of the Spanish, Austrian, and Dutch empires successively over the course of several wars. Bruges' very diverse heritage can be witnessed in its architecture as you stroll around the city. By the 19th century, the city was greatly impoverished, with 1 out of 5 residents making a living out of making lace. However, the city saw a revival after Belgium's independence in 1830. The 2 world wars luckily left the city center almost intact. More recently, in the year 2000, Bruges received the honorary title of UNESCO World Heritage City for the richness of its historical center. Bruges city center is a true gem for history buffs, but also for romantics. Today, you can enjoy a ride in a horse-drawn carriage along this medieval town, transporting you back in time without Netflix. Who said Paris was the most romantic city when Bruges is such a hidden gem? If I haven't managed to convince you yet to visit this amazing city, continue strolling around its historical center with cafes and craft shops dating back centuries await. As I mentioned earlier, Bruges' history is intimately intertwined with the trade of lace. With generations of expertise, you'll discover exquisite handcrafted lace souvenirs in any of the shops. So, if you're looking for souvenirs, definitely check out one of those lace shops to purchase a gown, an umbrella, or anything you fancy. And on the subject of souvenirs, don't forget we're in Belgium, the paradise for chocolate lovers. The city center boasts a plethora of mouth-watering chocolate shops with treats made by local artisans, each shop rivaling with another for creative innovation. One of my highlights was luxury bags made out of chocolates by one of the local shops. One added bonus, chocolate here is relatively inexpensive, and with all the walking around you're doing, you can definitely afford the calories, right?
And that's it for this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this little stroll together through history in the beautiful medieval town of Bruges, which is UNESCO classified. If you found these insights helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment on this video, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video drop. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.